Hello, everyone. Kevin Eichhoff here from Kevin Eichhoff Ministries. And today I'm just answering some questions a fellow subscriber has sent in. Today's question is, how can beginners be of service and help suffering people without taking on the evil and suffering of those people that we are trying to help? I find it very difficult at times to not suffer along with those I'm trying to help. But it seems also inhumane to avoid helping people out of fear or taking on their evil karma. How do you go about this? This is an interesting question in that we all, human beings, want to help one another. I think that's an inherent established trait that we all have. Some have it more than others. Some of us are just sort of destined to do that, to help others and to work with them. And to me, the primary person to look at that did these kinds of things, I would have to say, is Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa, she reached out and helped others irregardless of what was going to happen to her. She wasn't looking at herself. She wasn't examining every little detail of herself or the pain and suffering that she was going through in helping others. She just reached out and started helping others to the point that eventually she was removing so much pain and suffering in the world, it diminished her own pain and suffering. She was unaware of her own pain and suffering because of the level of commitment that she had toward helping those others that were in dire straits, that were suffering way, way deeper than she could ever have. They had no food. They were starving. A lot of them didn't have shelter. A lot of them didn't even have clothes on their back and things. And, Mother Teresa also talked about loneliness and how even though people in the United States that had a lot of money and a lot of things, a lot of them experienced terrible loneliness. And she spoke about that. And that is a form of pain and suffering. To be lonely and afraid and all these kinds of things. These are all forms of suffering. How do we avoid those types of suffering? By basically having good, strong value system within your own self. Having a system within yourself that no matter what, it's unshakable. It doesn't stop you. Did anybody ever hear of a woman named Molly Brown, the unsinkable Molly Brown? This woman, basically, she had an ironclad attitude all the time that no matter what happened, it didn't shake her. It didn't shake or move her. And the thing is this is a thing of growth and development. You're going to grow and develop into this so that you can become unshakable. As a Reiki master, I have taught to students, how to prevent themselves from taking on an evil energy or evil aspects of a person or even demons when you're doing a particular healing on someone, especially hands-on healing. When you're touching somebody and working with them, how do you prevent yourself from taking that on? You're using certain symbols of good and goodness in your life. And that's, I'll often tell people, make sure you wear something of divinity that reminds you of divinity, because you want to come back to that all the time. You don't want to go out there and have somebody suck you into something, and the next thing you know, now you've become just as evil as the group you were trying to help. Instead of helping the evil group, you become part of the evil group. You want to do things to bring aspirations and encouragement and goodness to people. And if you feel you can't do that on your own, then you're not ready for that. You're not mature enough for that yet. You haven't evolved enough for that yet. And there's nothing wrong with recognizing that as well and giving yourself that chance to do something else a little bit easier, a little bit something different than what you're presently doing. There's nothing wrong with moving away from that. And you don't want to bring evil into your life. You don't want to bring bad things into your life. You don't want to become a part of a group that has altered your thinking to their ways. And it's easy to do. It's easy to get caught up into those types of things. And it's about having the strength within yourself. And you have to develop that fortitude of strength that lies within yourself for your own self. And just stop people from harming you in that way. And that can be very difficult. You can work years on that kind of thing. You can work lifetimes on that kind of thing sometimes. It all depends. But if you find that these things from another person that you're trying to help are sort of driving you down into a darker form, a darker alley, then don't go down that dark alley. It's as simple as that. Don't do things that you know are going to definitely harm you or bring you down emotionally, mentally. Don't do those things. Physically, don't do those things that bring you down into those areas. Help someone else that's willing to be helped, because that's the biggest first key. You can't always help someone who doesn't want to be helped, you know. A lot of people say, I want to try and help them. Well, the thing is that person doesn't want any help. And the thing is you can spend lifetimes trying to help them. They're not interested in your help. They're even telling you they're not interested in your help. And yet you'll still go and do it. And the next thing you know, you'll get sucked into doing things that you weren't prepared that you were going to go do. So don't go messing around with energies and things. Work on self-development all the time. It's about the self-development. It's not about the development of others in the group. It's about your own self-development. Can you help others in the group? Sure, absolutely. But the thing is don't you put that other person before you. You work on structuring and fixing things for yourself. It's just like when you're on an airplane and they say, when the masks drop, when there's a problem, put the oxygen mask on yourself first and then help others. This is the same principle. The oxygen mask for you is building your own spiritual endowment and development and having the right kinds of thoughts and the right way of living. And once you're doing that, now you already have that oxygen mask on. Now you can help people with some of those kinds of things. And it doesn't have to be as complicated as you think. It can just be going down to the local food bank and doing something to help people at the local food bank, or going around and collecting socks for people in the winter and handing them out to the homeless. It doesn't have to be complicated things to help people. All people need help. All people. And the more we work on developing those types of things, you will find that it will develop things within you. Like when you go and you give to people at a food bank or a food shelter or a soup kitchen or any of those kinds of things. You put toys together for children that don't have toys at the holiday time. Any of those types of things that you work on and do, you will find it fills the heart with love and joy. And it's about filling the heart with love and joy as well. It's not doing things and then not enjoying it. You don't want to do things and, I hated doing that. No. You want to do things that bring joy and fulfillment to your whole entire being. And if you're not doing that, then you're not moving in the right direction. You need to look somewhere else. You need to look at things where you do feel that. And if you're fighting with the people in the group all the time, get out of those groups. Don't stay in those groups. Get out of them. Go on to something else. Don't allow your mind to get trapped and blocked because you are too foolish to let yourself expand into another area. You think, I'm going to just be a diehard and stay there right till the very end. That's not necessarily good thinking. You need to move on when the signs are there. And, and that doesn't mean move too soon, But, when things aren't going right, there's nothing wrong with moving on and getting and developing something else. Because there you may find something you never expected. And so you have to be open for that. And a lot of that is about being open. So try to remain open, try to remain positive, and try to find the things in life that speak to you and your heart that will also help people. That's the best way. With that being said, Namaste, Jai Bhagwan. May you see the light within yourself and within all others.